Hey, what's going on, everyone? Mike here with Superval Ammunition. Today I want to take a brief moment to talk to you guys about case gauging. Now you'll hear the term case gauge or chamber check or check block, and basically this is a device that we use to measure, to caliber, to gauge ammunition to ensure that's going to fit in your firearm. Now you might hear the term SAAMI. SAAMI, the easiest way to think of SAAMI is the governing body that determines caliber dimensions, what's acceptable, to ensure that across the industry, from gun manufacturing to ammunition manufacturing, that things are universal, that they fit, that they work together, to where if you buy a gun that's marked 9x19 Luger or 45 ACP, that then you can buy the ammunition marked the same and it's going to fit. That's kind of the simplistic way of putting it. The more detailed side is within SAAMI. If you were to go in and look, you can find a specification sheet for every chamber, for each cartridge, to know the dimensions. When we talk about case gauges or check blocks, what we're talking about is within that SAAMI specification, we're checking to ensure that that ammunition falls within it. Now, if you were to come into Superval, you would find every machine has an operator. Every operator has a work cart, and on every single work cart you're going to find a minimum SAAMI check, you're going to find a cutout check, and then a Dillon check, a little bit looser. And these are from the tightest to the loosest of check blocks on the market. Dillon, there are looser than that one, but for us that is a little bit of the looser end. Now when you think of your firearms, you have to understand what type of firearm are you using, how tight is the chamber on the gun. If you're a home loader, the best thing to do is inspect your chamber, measure your chamber on your pistol to ensure that whatever case gauge you're using is tighter. And I'll do another video on that later. But for right now, I did a post a couple days ago, and I was surprised at, we'll just say, the lack of knowledge on case gauging. And it was simply a picture of this, and I got comments and a lot of DMs of, hey, what is that? What are you using that for? So that's really what sparked this video. At Superval Ammunition, every single round goes through check blocks, multiple check blocks, whether it's on the loader and then putting it through a minimum SAAMI case gauge, or before the final packaging process, flipping it through a final check block, doing visual inspection as well before packaging. Now, it doesn't matter if it's our factory new, ball ammo, defensive ammo, or our certified select training ammo, all of them go through check blocks. Now, as a company, we have to decide, well, when we look at SAAMI specifications, there's a plus minus for everything. For overall length, for case thickness, for case height, for primer seat depth, for rim, for everything. Everything has a plus minus. And we have to decide as a manufacturer, how should we load our ammunition to fit as many guns as possible without any issues? Well, we need to stay within SAAMI spec. The biggest issue that we see in gun manufacturing is chamber tightness. If you get a custom built 1911, Atlas Gunworks, Infinity, 2011 race guns, whatever it may be, Wilson, some of them are going to have extremely tight chambers. Now, if you grab like a Glock or a duty purpose built pistol that's meant for law enforcement, extreme reliability, military usage, SIGs and stuff, they're going to have a little bit of a looser chamber. That's going to allow the gun to eat and feed more ammunition, but you're not going to have as tight of a chamber, as accurate of his gun, etc., etc., etc. But what we have to decide as a manufacturer is how can we load our ammunition to ensure that it fits in every gun. So what we do is we have custom check blocks, and you may have seen these. Look at this one. This one's got a lot of interest. This is a custom 223 556 chamber check. This is a 20 count 9mm chamber check. These aren't on the market. We custom make these for Superval specific needs. Well, why do we do that? Because no one else on the market has them that tight to match our trays. You'll see behind me one of our packaging machines and part of our QC area, and this machine will put 20,000 rounds per hour in 50 count trays. We then take these trays, which match perfectly, up to our check block, lay the check block, and we flip it. And from there, that allows us in our QC department to visually inspect and physically, with this chamber check, inspect every single round. No round leaves this facility, whether it's certified select, remanufactured, our defensive ammo going to LE or civilians, or our factory new training ammo, every single round goes through a check block. Every single round needs to drop free, chamber in there perfectly. But the key to this chamber, this check block, it is made at minimum SAAMI specification. So I can ensure that if that cartridge drops in there freely, it's going to chamber in any gun on the market as long as that gun was built within SAAMI specifications. Now, there's a lot of other things to consider, like bullet ogive and overall length, and if you wanted to look up the SAAMI specifications, you can see all those details. Some of you loading at home might be able to get your exterior dimension of your cartridge to fit in the check block, but you might be running into total seat depth issues due to the bullet ogive being elongated and more forward setting. There's a lot of knowledge, and we'll get into that stuff later. But for today, my main focus was to show you guys, because I've had questions on what exactly these are and how we do it. Now, another check that I want to show you, if you're at home and you're hand loading and maybe you don't want to have one of these custom made, or you don't want to buy a hundo or whatever there is out there, and you're looking to get single gauges, measure your chamber of your pistol. Ensure that whatever gauge you are using is tighter than the firearm. And I'm going to do a detailed video on this here in the coming days. I want to show you guys this one real quick. This is a Sheridan cutout gauge. This is a really cool gauge. It's set at the minimum spec. And basically what it's going to do is if there's an error, you can physically see it. Okay, so as you're loading, if you run into an issue, this cutout is going to show you everything on there. We have these for every caliber as well to ensure as the guys are loading, they're checking the ammunition to make sure there's no errors. And if there are errors, they can troubleshoot them. So that's a little bit about check blocks. We use them for everything. I call them check blocks because it's a block, it's a case gauge, it's a chamber check, whatever you want to call it. No, you can't buy these. Maybe down the road I'll manufacture them. But for us at Supervel, we make them specific to our needs so we can ensure that the ammunition that you are purchasing will fit in your gun, will feed in your gun, will feed reliably, and that's every single round. I don't care if it's once fired reman brass, every single round does not leave this facility until it goes through a minimum case gauge to inspect for everything, visually, hands-on, make sure it's perfect, and then we're going to ship it out to you guys. Anyways, thanks for tuning in. I hope this was helpful to you guys. If there are any questions, if there are any other things about reloading or manufacturing process that you are curious about, please drop them in the comments below. Make sure you like and share this video. Pass this knowledge on if you find that it's helpful or one of your friends needs to hear it as well. And let me know in the comments if you want to learn something else about our manufacturing process, our quality control process, or whatever we do, and I'll gladly share that knowledge with you, because if I can help you stay on the range and shoot, that's a win-win for all of us. Have a great week.